Good afternoon. Welcome to Glorious Expression Ministry TV. Again, my name is Brother Esi. With me on the show is Mr. Myron Epps. Well, I'll call you Coach Epps. He has been, he has had a career in coaching and working with kids. And one of the things we also try to do in Glorious Expression Ministry TV is to encourage not just the adults, but also the young ones and those who assist in mentoring these young ones, teaching them, helping them, coaching them. Because, there are challenges working with young ones. Everyone knows that. So someone like Myron can help us to see some of these areas that, we may not have thought of, or if we're going through, we're working with kids, some of the things we're going to be encountering. Mr. Myron Epps, he has been a coach with Tulare Union, right? Tulare Union. He's also coached as a Mission Oak High School and Central High School in Fresno. He has also coached there. He's also with the Aztec Basketball Academy, right? What do you do for Aztec?
We usually we can have kids come in group sessions and work on private skill lessons, run tournaments, host events. But basically, it's just skill building, helping kids develop basketball skills and try to get them ready for whatever level of basketball they want to play.
Oh, awesome. So he also works in that area. He's also the boys basketball director for AAU for Central California, and he's a regional director for Phenom Basketball. So he has been working with young, upcoming, young boys and girls who some of them want to, take their career to the next level in basketball and things like that. So it's awesome that we look at that area sometimes, because as parents, sometimes we look at school, we want the kids to study, we want the kids to do all that, but also the sporting side of it also helps to develop, the young people, their minds, how they think, discipline and stuff like that. And that's the area we're looking at today. Now, what has helped you particularly in your own life to be able to stay this course? Something must have encouraged you to stay doing what you're doing as a coach for these young ones.
As far as a coach, I played at San Diego State, came back to Tulare after, and really wasn't, interested in coaching, at first when I got back. But I really believe that God, set a passion, set a hunger within me. I started helping out a little bit with coaching, and once I, got a taste of it, just really got a chance to instill into the young men. I love it. So, even though it's been, tough, up and down, it's definitely been worth it. Just seeing, the kids grow and mature and know that you have a chance to be in their life and impact.
Wow, that's good. Now, one of the things I want to ask is, sometimes people see these kids of today differently. People see these kids like they don't want to do this, they don't want to go to school, or they don't want to, but the kids themselves, I believe, want to do better. I believe there's something in every child that wants to do better, because if they're out there coming for practice and things like that, there must be something that is driving them. They want to develop themselves and things like that. When you have, find certain challenges when you're dealing with these kids, because I'm sure, we've all been young, we've all been teenagers, and sometimes you just don't want to be told what to do or things like that. When you run into some challenges when you're training these young ones, how do you overcome those challenges? And what are some of the challenges that you may have encountered dealing with some of the young people?
Coaching at Mission Oak and then also coaching at Central, two different populations, two different cultures. But it's the same issue at the end of the day. We talk to kids, at the end of the day, it was just hope. A lot of the kids at Michinoki, they felt they weren't skilled enough, they were too learning, or the kids at Central, very tough environments, very tough home lives. It was just hope. So once we sat down, kind of went over the message of hope, let them know that there is a hope in basketball, there is a way out of the current situation, kind of help direct them and see the positives. Usually got a good response. And then just let them know that we're consistent, we're there for them.
Oh wow! See, that's a good thing for our audience to know, because it's very easy to give up on the young people of today, especially when the older generation dealing with the younger generation. Sometimes there's this gap in the generation, because the older people feel like these young people are not the way they used to be. Sometimes they come off as disrespectful, they come off as they don't want nothing. But one of the things we need to understand is that as time goes along, generations and cultures, they evolve, things change. But as trainers, as coaches, we have to be able to still reach these young people. We have to still be able to encourage them. Like, Ms. Myron has told us, sometimes some of them feel they're not skilled enough. But back in the day, if a kid feels like he's not skilled enough, he may be kind of maybe shy, or kind of want to back off from everything. But because of the culture of today, when a kid feels like he's not skilled enough, he may want to compensate for that with something else, by not listening, doing something that we would define as crazy. But we have to be able to look beyond all that. We have to be able to look beyond, like he said, looking at the home life, looking at some of the things that may be the underlying factor, why this particular kid is not doing well or not performing the way they want the kid to perform. So basically, parents can also use what you do, which is finding out the underlying factor, because sometimes parents, we think we know everything about our kid, but the kid may be going through something in school that he's not saying at home. But if we can, dig through that with patience and love, and just kind of go with it, kind of understand why this kid may have changed, overnight or something like that, then we'll be able to help. And that's why we bring, people like Myron who work with kids. So we know that it's a different, I think it's a different culture with kids.
Definitely.
I think it's a different culture with kids, and I applaud you guys, because I believe it takes a lot of patience to work with these kids. I believe it takes a lot of somebody who comes in who doesn't really know the basketball culture, because everything has a culture, right? So it takes you to actually train them. So this is how it's done, this is how it goes. And how often do you practice? Like, how much do they come in?
We usually practice 6 days a week, but kind of hitting back on what you talked about with culture. And our culture, we start that as soon as we get on campus. My last job at Central, we started working on culture the first week, and that was everything except basketball. How we carry ourselves off the court, how we dressed, how we talked, set vision. It's just the character of the basketball program, and then based off the character of the program, that was going to give us a good heads up on just how good the basketball team would be. Well, the culture is pretty possible and successful in sports.
Wow, so what I'm learning from you right now is you don't just do the sport.
No, absolutely not.
So you touch other areas of their lives.
Yeah.
How they carry themselves, self-esteem, how they talk, how they communicate with their world and stuff like that. That's awesome to know, because parents sometimes, when they think about putting their kids in sport, all we think about is sport.
Yeah.
We don't think about nothing else. So it's a good thing for me to know this, because I have a 9-year-old, to know that you guys work on other things. So kids, if parents, if your kids are in sport, you want to know what they're being taught. You want to know what they're teaching them, and sometimes you can piggyback off of what the coach is teaching them. Say, remember what you were taught, how to carry yourself, how to do this. So we basically strengthen what the coach does. Like they say, it takes a whole community to raise a child, right? So it takes the coach, it takes the teacher in school, it takes the parent, the parent can't do it all alone. So, I really commend you what you do, because when the kid leaves school, the kid leaves the teacher and goes maybe for coaching lessons. Now the kid is in your hands and all the coaches out there who are doing this. So you guys have a heavy impact on the kid also. So it's a good thing that you guys are doing that, because if it was just sport, then they may be missing out on other things. Because sometimes when they get home, the parents, they've worked, they're tired and things like that. So it's a good thing that you guys do this. Can you just kind of detail a little bit? We can stop here. Just detail a little bit some of the things that you talk to the kids about. Maybe when you do one-on-one sessions with them.
Yeah, we do one-on-one sessions. Right now it's public schools. Kind of we talk about academics.
Okay.
We do ask about home life, but it's an open question to kind of answer. Sometimes it won't. There's kind of closed off, but you can kind of get vibes off of it. Definitely been blessed, and all my coaching stops to have kids that do want to talk about faith, and we've been able to install things like athletes in action, where the kids can go have Bible study, and then from Bible study come in and practice, and then just pretty much everything. I've always been a believer with every aspect of life. It's not really about basketball, because at the end of the day, that basketball is going to be flayed and we'll be available to eventually. So we've got to have more things in life.
Wow, that's awesome. They even do Bible study sometimes. Talk about faith. Talk about the word. I didn't know that. I'm just learning that now. So it's awesome. Our kids have opportunities out there. It's not all bad like we hear on the news, because the news a lot of times just shows us the bad part. That's why Glorious Expression Ministry TV is not your regular news. We bring people here who are in different fields, doctors, lawyers, pastors, to teach us what's actually going on out there. Some of the things we hear in the media, they just filter whatever they want us to hear. And sometimes a lot of it is kind of negative news, but we want to get the total story. We want to know what's going on. I've never heard on the news that a basketball team is doing Bible study. That these kind of things are going on out there. So it's awesome that parents know this, because it gives us some level of comfort to say, okay, if my kid is going here, it's not just going to go play basketball. There are certain things. So when my kid comes back, I can say, what were you taught today? Oh, I learned basketball, what else? And things like that. And then we can just build off of that. So we can bounce back and forth with what you were taught from your coach, your teacher, mentors out there, and that helps the total man, the total boy, the total girl, to grow up into the kind of person that we are praying for our kids to become. And I'm sure that you started early. So you had mentors in your life. You had people who taught you to do these things. I'm sure you didn't just start doing basketball 3 months ago. So somebody must have helped you to get there, and now you're giving back. So I thank you so much. Thank you for coming to the show. Thank you for watching again. This is Glorious Expression Ministry TV. If you need to get more information, you can go to our website, www.gloriousexpressionministry.org. If you need to write me, it's Esi Olueh at gloriousexpressionministry.org, and I will get back to you. God bless you. Thank you so very much. Thank you.